Welcome back to another EPL Fantasy Prediction with Offside Yardy. Today, we are going to look on game week 10 tally, top players of the week, and underperformers. After that, we are going to look on the top 5 players you should have on your side right now. We will also take a look at the fixtures, discussing the formation and starting 11 for this week. Week 10 points total was 71. Here's a look at that lineup. Top earners of the week was Cancelo with a great performance for City. We've been talking about how consistent he is. If you take an average over each game, pretty good results. Next we had Saka. He had a goal in each half. Was a pretty good performance from Arsenal. Arsenal win 3-2 versus Liverpool. Then we had Alan. He was captain, so the points was double. And then Trippier with 7 points. Those were our top earners from last week. 71 points still, not too bad. Not a bad result. We actually finished in our top 20% of performers in the entire thing. So, not a bad result. We keep progressing upon that. Keep building upon that one day, right? Players that underperform. Connor Cody. We put Saliba on the bench last week due to his partnership with Gabriel and Gabriel being a little shaky. I think Saliba only ended the game with 1 point. Could have left him on the we could have leave him in a starting lineup because Cody had the same amount of points. We figured that, with the way how Everton are playing and the fact that they had the least amount of goals conceded and thing, he would have had a better performance. But that's how the thing go. You hit and you miss, right? Then obviously we have Maddison with the performance of the man put in the week before. You would think that he would have come again and put in another stellar performance, but not even close. Alright, so I could look on the wish list or ones to watch. In a defender, for right now, we think we're going to leave that as is because the guys what we have currently have in our side, me think is good enough. We have James on the bench, Cody, Saliba, Trippier, and Cancelo. That's our 5 defenders. Right now it's just a matter of rotating in and out the right ones per game week, right? So we're going to skip past defenders and go straight into midfielders. And the first person we'd like to mention is Mason Mount. Potter might just be the type of mentor we need for regain last season's form. If you watch last weekend's match, it looked pretty decent. A glimpse of what is to come or a glimpse of what he was last season. One to watch for sure as Chelsea is up against Aston Villa. You watch midweek Champions League match. Pretty good performance from Mason. So up next we have Phil Foden. Definitely needs to be in your squad if you don't have him yet. There's been a lot of debate on socials whether I'm better than the likes of Saka, Mount and Sancho and etc. Well, it looked like the youth out for prove all doubters wrong, especially since it seems to us that he might develop a little chemistry with Alan on the pitch. This one is always going to be a tough one because who from your current lineup would you dump? Considering you already have Alan from City and KDB from City and Cancelo, right? Max is 3. The limit is 3. So, who would you sell? Well, as of this recording, you're Foden past KDB by 2 points. Why for the 2? But getting rid of a defender and a striker is not ideal. Especially if them striker and defender they provide you consistent, stable points week in, week out. The more likely solution would be a like-for-like midfield swap, KDB for Foden. No, this is an option that could free up some funds so you can upgrade your squad in other positions. Think about it. Other supporting info would be that if you're looking now to play Champions League like that, so does that mean him start most Premier League game? Pretty sure him will consider him current farm. It seems that Foden has been playing a slightly different, more advanced role this season. Well, this tells us that the possibility is there to score more goals and provide more assists. So, Foden need to be in your side. Alright, next up we have Martinelli at Arsenal. Him deserve a mention. Him value rise up. Him have an average of 6 points per game, with 12 points being the highest in any one game. Definitely look like him up on the upside. Arsenal play Leeds, hoping for another banger from the young lad. So get him in. Next is Almiron of Newcastle, valued at 5.1. Get him in your squad. He was on the bench for us last week. We missed 7 points. He have 22 points from the last 2 games. Why for the 2? That's kind of perfect points average from a player of that value. Obviously, topping each game week, we can't rely upon an average score. Need to be able to predict them game the way I go get the peak points. At the end of the day, he's a cheap and option for have whether I'm there in 11 or there on the bench, right? Then a youth, we are going to mention a youth from Brighton. Many people probably won't know much about him, but him named Karu Mitoma from Brighton. Like I said, this Japanese kid look like a gem. So far, he has made 6 appearances, all coming off the bench. But him look lively, neat on the ball, and clearly possess a nice footwork. One for watch for sure, and not a cheap alternative to keep in mind, even though it's just some 20-minute year cameo role. See? We are going to end the midfielders' wish list right there, so. And move on to striker roles. Now, for today's vid, we only have 1 striker for mention right now. I have a couple others in mind, but not enough to have a discussion or bring them up. Today we are going to talk about Firmino. Him up on the list. Averaging about 50 minutes per game to be at 53 points in 9 games in a struggling Liverpool side. That is madness. Definitely can fill the Ivan Toney spot for me. If we had the ability to put him in this week, he would definitely be in our team starting 11 this week for sure. We just run out of transfers and things for the week, so we have to go and kick. But definitely take a look at putting Firmino in your side. Liverpool play Man City is a big match. Don't think either side will have any clean sheet. Some people rise to the occasion for them big game, and some people don't. The data 50 minutes per game and at 53 points total, that is the key. That is why Firmino deserve or not. So, on Friday we have Brentford. They might play Brighton. And Saturday, first match a kick off early. Leicester versus Crystal Palace. Yeah, Fulham up against Bournemouth. Wolves are play Forest. Spurs are play Everton. That end match for Saturday. Then moving to Sunday early morning. Aston Villa play Chelsea. Leeds are playing Arsenal. United are playing Newcastle. Southampton are playing West Ham. And Liverpool are playing City. That I will do it for week 11 set of games. Look like all of the game them on Sunday. I kick off around the same time. While the big match of the day obviously I play in a midday range. For this week lineup, we're gonna use a 3-5-2 formation. 3 defender, 5 midfielders, and 2 striker. We're gonna keep Nick Pope in goal until we can move him out. He remains. Then we're gonna replace Connor Cody with Saliba. Lisa play Arsenal. Not saying that it's gonna be a walkover game, easy game for Arsenal, but looking at the Tottenham Everton game, you will think you will get more points from Saliba. Next up, we have Trippier. Even though Newcastle play Manchester, still think Trippier is valuable to the team. He's been delivering since the season start. Again, we have to repeat the fact that it's all about how long Newcastle can keep and maintain this form. So, for now, Trippier starts. Up next, we have Cancelo. Not much to say about Cancelo. He continues to deliver, so he remains in the starting lineup. Moving on to the midfield. After last week, performance who want to drop Madison, but for now we're going to keep him in the side, see if he can produce against Crystal Palace. Then we are going to throw on Almiron. He might get the start over Ivan Toney. Toney looked terrible in our last game. If not for the penalty, would have 1 point because he did pick up a yellow card in that game. So Toney to the bench, Almiron in. Then Saka maintain his place. Not much to say about Saka there. Hoping for some valuable points as right now we're debating whether to make Alan captain or Saka. Leave that towards the end of this starting 11. Then we have another faithful Trossard. Didn't perform last game. Hoping we can turn that around against Brentford. Him seem to like racking up points while playing away games. Then we have the newcomer Mason Mount in for Luis. Luis out injured. Look like he won't be back for some time. So right now, Mount is going to take him place. Then up front, we have the two in Jesus and Haaland. We're currently debating whether to make Haaland captain. Not scoring in the Community Shield against Liverpool should be fresh in the memory. He would want to erase that from memory by scoring this weekend. So right now, we say Alan for captain again this week. And that brings us to the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Bless. Jamaica, we wanna feel Jamaica.